Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel fam. What's good? So today is another day that got me really upset, but I'm just going to go into what happened. So it started with Adekunle Sheggz situation, and there was a clip shown where they actually had an altercation in the house, right? That Adekunle got provoked and all that and screamed. It was a near fistful fight. And Sheggz spoke about it. Sheggz said, there was a misunderstanding. Then him talking about, mobile police in the house and all that. It was just everybody has police in that area. That he was just talking about his, because it's Ikoyi, it was blown out of proportion, and people thought, okay, he's bragging about, what he owned. And I think in that area, Sheggz was actually trying to downplay what he did, because we saw the show. Sheggz several times and bragged about what he had and what he owned. Okay, and Adekunle was asked to speak. Adekunle said, everything started with them being like, cliques, this boys' tribe where they gather to talk about the girls they like. So there'll be, this bro code. You don't go for the girl I like. I don't go for the girl you like. That. But subsequently you would hear Sheggz talk, and he felt like it was really trying to put other people down, especially him who didn't have that experience and all. Well, altogether, it wasn't so serious because both of them aired their points, and at the end of the day, the good thing is that Adekunle apologized. He apologized for the newsletter he shared, apologized to the house about it. He didn't apologize to Sheggz, over their altercation, but he apologized to the house. Everything kind of simmered down. There wasn't chaos around the situation, but we got to know that Sheggz and Adekunle didn't want to, dwell on the enmity of the past, because yes, they tried to air their points, why they were that upset, how it started from good to bad. But we know they weren't trying to focus on the fact that, yes, it's either Sheggz was really bragging and Adekunle was upset about the bragging thingy, right? So now it moved to CHOMZY. First it was Rachel and Chichi, right? So somehow CHOMZY came into the picture, and, Ebuka asked about the three witches, the Coven sisters, and how it came to them not being close. So there was a clip shown where Sheggz and Chichi had an altercation at the bathroom, people insulting each other, calling each other names, And after that, Rachel spoke about how they fell out, why they weren't talking, because outside the house, they wanted to put things together like sisters, like girls. She called some girls and they reached out to Chichi, but she wasn't, she didn't give a positive feedback like she would be part of it. And then Chichi was trying to say, she gave a positive feedback. She said, yeah. But CHOMZY came into the picture because, Rachel said they should ask CHOMZY, that CHOMZY was there. And CHOMZY spoke and said, yeah, that she was there, that they wanted to put a get-together, that Doyin gave positive feedback, made lots of contribution. And when they called, she wanted to call, that CHOMZY wanted to call Chichi, but Chichi had blocked her, and they said they would get back to that. Ebuka asked, when did she block it? She said, okay, probably outside the show, when she was outside the house. Okay, and, CHOMZY said since she was blocked, Rachel called Chichi to talk about the girls' hangout, but Chichi didn't give a feedback. So Chichi's lying about saying she made positive feedback. And Chichi was asked to speak. She said, yeah, that they weren't really friends in the house, that the whole thing, even Rachel said it, that they weren't friends, they just galvanized, towards each other and started talking and laughing over situations. In fact, Rachel said that it was because of they had a common enemy, which was Bella and Sheggz as at then. That was why they started cracking jokes together. That it wasn't like a friendship, they just found themselves around each other cracking jokes, that even at some point in the house, she herself, Rachel, told Chichi that they are not friends, right? She said, yeah, we're not friends, we're just cool. So Chichi now spoke and said that, yeah, that they weren't friends, that, and she doesn't believe it was a common enemy, Bella, because she went out to see the clip, and Chichi was trying to insinuate that, Bella wasn't wrong, that it was even Rachel that, pushed Bella's hand and all that. I felt that was low. Even though you've fallen out of Rachel, who you supported that time, you shouldn't start lying and begin, because we all saw it, like Bella was not really doing the right thing then to put the food in somebody's face. If I were the one, I would also use my hand to fling it. Why did you bring it to my face in the first place? But I'm not even going to that. So yeah, and then after Chichi had spoken that they weren't friends, then she talked about blocking CHOMZY. She said CHOMZY was saying things about her, said that talked about her body in a negative way, but that she doesn't even mind, because it's ladies who feel less of themselves that would talk about someone else's body in a negative way. And then that CHOMZY went ahead to tell people that she's using her dead parents as a strategy. And CHOMZY was asked, CHOMZY didn't decline saying that, but CHOMZY also said that Chichi equally said negative things about her, trying to destroy her friendship with Bella. And, they just went back and forth, and, somehow we got to know that both of them said negative things about each other, and they fell out. And because of that, why would you be inviting me for a hangout? She felt like they were not good, so she didn't want to be a part of that hangout. So that's Chichi, right? So the very, very hot part was when it got to Phyna's part. Ebuka asked Phyna how they fell out, and then Phyna started explaining that when she saw clips, that when she got out of the house, Bella told her that Chichi would always say they should put her up for eviction, that she even saw clips where Chichi was saying they should put her first before other guys, that if they put her first with 4 guys, she would be the one to go and all that, and even Doyin was telling her, Doyin and Otu, why would you want to put up your friend up for eviction? But she said that they should put her up for eviction, right? She even said that when they got out of the house, she tried to talk to Chichi, but Chichi would be, looking down on people looking at people with one kind of high, like she doesn't want to talk with them, and that, she saw Chichi as like a sister because Chichi looked like her younger sister. And at that point she said, even though it's not about age, because Chichi is clearly older than herself and everybody in the house, that Chichi is 33. And Chichi in the house said she was about 23 or thereabout. Now Phyna is saying Chichi is 33, and that was when Chichi talked and said, oh wow, my mother, the one that gave birth to me, my age. And then Phyna started shouting, shut up, shut the F up, shut the F up, because you have silicone in your behind and your front yard. You talk like somebody that doesn't have sense, that silicone is probably in your head too. If you see the atmosphere was tensed. I could read the people's face, even Groovy, Ebuka himself, and some other people. They were not really happy with what Phyna was saying, talking about her body in that manner. And then Phyna went on to say, you that had 2 children, one died, and you left your husband. That moment, it was really, the atmosphere was tense. Like, we're like, okay. So somehow the clips went further, and she started speaking further and saying that she saw Chichi as someone who they could have resolved things, but it just didn't resolve that way. And Chichi was asked to speak. Chichi said, even though in the house she wasn't like perfect, but she was really misunderstood a lot of times, but that she really liked Phyna. She genuinely liked Phyna, but I didn't think she did, because you want to put someone up for eviction if you like them? No, I don't think so. But Chichi later said that, they had misunderstandings and then they came back together. So I want to believe what she's trying to say is that when she put her up, they were not good. They were pretty much quarreling. But later, they became friends. And if you notice, towards the end of the show, they became close, that as at that time Chichi wouldn't put her up anymore, right? So we'll conclude Chichi put up Phyna in the house several times, at the beginning, at the middle of the show, but towards the end they became friends, right? But outside the show, Phyna equally said that, no, Chichi equally said that Phyna was telling, she too saw clips of Phyna telling even Deji that she's a stripper, telling things about her that she didn't even allow level 2 housemates to know her. That's Chichi, that she was just saying negative things about her, that, you know, this one even hurt her. So that was why it seemed as though she wasn't ready to be friends with Phyna outside the house again, because Phyna said she tried to talk to Chichi 1 or 2 times outside the show, but Chichi was always looking at her somehow. So we conclude both of them saw clips, this one putting me up, this one saying negative things about me. So we shouldn't be cool by any sense, even though we ended the show cool. But coming out to see those things, there was no need for the friendship. And before you know it again, Phyna started talking again, you know, talking about the friendship with Chichi, that she's big on tribe. She doesn't even, you know, expect to be having this kind of talks, argument with Chichi here, that she's big on tribe, but that Chichi is pushing her. That's why she can't control herself anymore. And then she went on about the whole silicone thing in the behind and in the front yard, that Chichi has that in her head. That's why she's not thinking clearly. And you know, she was literally even using, I forgot to say this, CHOMZY equally still maintained that Chichi was using her parents as, you know, to get empathy from people. And Phyna too said it, that she was using her parents, because before anything will happen, she would say, oh, my parents, you know, this and that. So for me, the what Phyna said to Chichi when she was asked about their friendship, it was unprovoked, because when the clips came out, Phyna was trying to maintain that multi-choice DSTV has cut some parts. So they might have truly have cut some parts away when Chichi provoked her to elicit that manner of outburst. But based on the show we watched, not the clips now, the real show, I did not see anything that warranted such provocation. But, you know, talking about her body, her parents, her children, you know, yeah, her husband, marital status, wow. I must say that was extreme. Even Phyna went on to say she won the show, that even with Chichi using her parents as, you know, to buy empathy, herself, Phyna still won the show, and all that kind of, yes, you won the show, yeah, you got the money, and you're even winning outside the house, pretty much more than a lot of the other ex-housemates. So there was really no necessity for that, you know. I don't know, it was just a lot to watch. It felt cringe to watch it, because even though both of them are not good, the sensitivity of what Phyna was spilling was what I was not. Yeah, insult the person. You people can go back at each other, but there are some insults that are very, very sensitive, and it could even affect her brand name outside, you know, about children, about dead parents, about body. I felt it was too much, okay? For Sheggz and Adekunle, I don't think there isn't much, you know, beef between them anymore. I think it has simmered down. For CHOMZY, we know she's not good with Chichi, Rachel is not good with Chichi, Phyna is not good with Chichi. But what Phyna was spilling was a bit too much. It was too much. I'd like to know what you think.